welcome to episode 316 of the Show to Play This Game podcast. It took us a while to get us going. We've been trying to record for the last 45 minutes.
I was going to say, you've got way more energy than I expected you to have, given the bullshit fuck around it's been for the last... Oh!
VMix, I'm not sure what happened there. VMix had I don't know what it was. I have no idea. VMix was playing up. We couldn't get things connected, but we are now here. So episode 316, we will look at April's games later in the episode, so hang around for that. But let's get into this quickly since we haven't got much. We've lost about an hour of our window we normally have, so let's get into your games real quickly then. What have you been playing?
I have been playing video games, and that's the bottom line, because Austin 316, god damn it, I fucked it up already. Anyway, Avowed. Avowed's still really, really good. Mm-hmm. It's fucking fantastic, with the exception of an Unreal Engine fatal error that causes a crash after about 2 hours of playing it. Like, seriously, seemingly every, 2 hours. Just like, hey, check this out. UE Alabama, something, fatal error. And then I open it again, and everything seems to be okay. I don't know. I'm not having the worst of that. I've seen people on Reddit say that they can't even launch the game without it going, hey, guess what? Fuck you. Which is a real shame, because everything else about this game is fucking fantastic. Yeah, I haven't had... There's been a couple of bugs here, like weird little bugs here and there, but this is probably the closest I've played a AAA game to release that wasn't multiplayer focused. Like Call of Duty, Street Fighter, obviously want to get in on the meta and make sure I don't get left behind competitively. But yeah, this is still a fantastic video game, and I'm very much enjoying playing it. Smashing dudes with my big fuck off axe. Are you have any interest in getting to this at some point?
No.
Nah. Okay. At this stage, it may feature in our end of year shit. But god damn it, if this year isn't just fucking insane. I think I talked about this last time.
Rings a vague bell.
Maybe. Zombieville USA 3D, a name that screams bullshit mobile phone port. Zombieville USA was a phone game. The developer just 3D'd it up and put it out on Steam. Dual joystick shooter. It is really, really fun to actually just walk around and shoot the zombies. There's no auto shooting, so it's not quite Vampire Survivors' arse game. Real quick, there was a PC Gamer article that was like, we need a new name for Vampire Survivors games. So I tried doing putting a comment in to go arse, as in auto shooting survival. Every time, no matter how I tried to put it, it kept censoring me and wouldn't let me post it. It bummed me out. Moving on. Some of the later achievements are totally and utterly fucked, because there's a couple of different issues. Like, there's some real bullshit spawning issues. So sometimes you're running around, your little dude, and you're shooting zombies, and then out of nowhere, as you're running in a direction, a zombie will just go, hey, check this out. Whoop, right in front of you.
Okay.
And there's an achievement for reach level 11, or infection 11, which is basically just a wave, without getting hurt, killing 250 zombies. So if you walk into a spawning zombie out of fucking nowhere, you kind of get fucked on that one. Buying the later upgrades as well, Jesus Christ, it requires a lot of money to get dropped, and the money that does get dropped isn't a lot. I leveled up the perk to drop more money, and it was just 5% per level of this perk. I'm like, that's not much, particularly if you start from infection level 0, you kill a zombie, the most it gives you is like $20. And the top level of gun level is like 80,000 after you've done the levels before it. Anyway,
you had mentioned that last week, that game, the last episode.
There we go. I really dig playing it. It is really, really fun to play. Like, it's so close to the arse games Survivors like. It's just the dual joystickness of it. It is really fun to play, but god damn it, if the number one, the upgrades just don't take so much fucking money, and number two, I uninstalled it, because if I kept it installed, I probably would have kept playing it. Saving me from myself. Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Hey, that game's still pretty great. Moving on. No. I finished the Battle Pass. I think there's about 2 weeks left on it. The Ninja Turtle event I finished. There was a St. Patrick's Day event that I finished. I don't know. That I enjoy playing that game for spots here and there. This is a bummer. This is a real bummer because I had hit about 10, 12 hours in PGA Tour 2K25. And I have since found that in trying to do that, the virtual currency requirements are fucked. So you use virtual currency to level up. You use virtual currency to buy clubs and t-shirt and shirts and shit in the pro shop. So my golfer is rocking a sweet pair of Jordan 4 golf shoes, which I'm like, that's rad. But leveling up costs an insane amount of virtual currency. And when you level up the clubs, to go to the next level of rarity, you need what's called an Evo tool. I've had 3 of those drop. So you can buy them because of course you can. And you can buy virtual currency because of course you can. So everything that people have said about the way the virtual currency bullshit impedes NBA 2K and the WWE 2K games, it holds true here. The golf is fun, although I figured out I was accidentally on the perfect swing difficulty, which is why I was blitzing courses and fields getting like 70 under in a tournament.
Okay.
But by the time I found that out, the grind for the currency had just worn me to the point where I'm like, fuck this. I just didn't want to keep playing it. Hey, speaking of games I didn't want to keep playing, let me ask you a question. Does the combination of Animal Crossing and fucking machine guns sound like the sort of game I would love?
You rephrase that?
Does the combination of Animal Crossing and machine guns?
Yeah. Now, the word fucking was the problem in that sentence. It made no sense.
Sorry. Animal Crossing and fucking. Bang. Let's put that together. There's your podcast title. Animal Crossing and fucking.
So animals
it's not
and
Netflix
Animal
and
Crossing
chill anymore.
And machine guns. So you've got what? Animals with machine guns, basically, is what you're saying.
Pretty much. It's like a walk around, hit trees with axes. Yeah, I don't know what's up with this thing called Long Winter, which is a pretty great name. But it is incredibly empty. Like I don't have an axe to cut down trees. I need to buy it, and I don't know how to the only way I know of to get money is to either pick flowers and sell them for very small amounts, or catch fish and sell them for, again, very small amounts. And I'm like, yo, check this out. No. It sounds like it should work really well, but then you play it, and it's like, yeah, nah. The handling and feel of the movement is pretty basic, but fine. Navigating the UI might be one of the worst UI navigations I've come across in quite some time. There is gamepad integration. It's piss poorly done and super bare bones. To the point where trying to navigate the menu, you're better off using a mouse and keyboard, but then you try to use mouse and keyboard to play it, and it's fucked. In order to cut trees or dig holes, like I said, the tools are just incredibly expensive, and trying to just sit and catch a bunch of fish that you sell for like 4 or 5 currency at a time when the shovels are like 500. I'm like, yeah, get fucked. I hate fishing in real life. I don't mind it in video games sometimes for a distraction, but hell to the fucking no. Like, look at this key art. This looks like everything, like, at least not quite everything, but something I should dig. The cute little animals, the cute little Animal Crossing like looking dudes. This guy here with a shotgun, and he's like, come bring it. But Jesus Christ, there's not much to bring because it's fucking empty. Anyway, I've started playing Tales of Iron. I was playing it before the shit show of trying to actually start recording today, and holy fuck, I got stuck on a boss for 45 minutes and I wanted to throw something. The bosses in this, I feel, at least from a memory perspective, are substantially harder than the first game. I played through and finished the first game on the PlayStation 4. I'm getting there with some of them, but Jesus Christ, some of them just kick my teeth in. It is really cool having the voice of Geralt be the narrator. Like, everything that happens, you hear Geralt, and it's like, wait a minute, what the fuck? And he's like, Arlo picked up this axe and said, I'm going to cut this foot. I mean, he doesn't say it like that, obviously. But I have run into a couple of wicked bugs on this one too, where I was fighting the first boss. My little rat guy here, his name is Arlo, in case that wasn't obvious. For some reason, he just kept running to the left against the boss, and the boss wouldn't move. That was pretty fantastic. The boss's health didn't deplete any of the white health either, so that was a bit messed up. I had one where I was just running in the environment, and all of a sudden, I took my thumb off the left stick. He just kept running. So, it's not exactly the cleanest of launches, or at least it hasn't felt that way, but it's still a really interesting and really fun. When I'm not getting my teeth kicked in for nearly an hour, I really fun another one of these. It's got fantastic art too. I love the art. It looks really nice, but it also scales really, really well. I've been playing it on my laptop and on this thing. And obviously on this thing, it's not going to have any issues, but my laptop's not exactly the most beastly of PCs. And it runs absolutely fine. I mean, it runs at 1080p, but that's all I need it to do. Forgot it does that. There we go. Like, it does a really good job with the sort of storybook-ish design, and the backgrounds are really well animated and look really, really nice. And they do a good job of faking lighting techniques in the art style to the point where it looks super nice. And it's really, really neat hearing the little characters talk to each other, and all they go is and little voice bubbles pop up that basically just go, yep, thumbs up. Thumbs up, it's that way, fuck off. I'm like, oh. I didn't think I was going to come back to this. I did.
You went too hot on it last week, or last episode, so...
No, it launched hot. With quite a few different bugs.
Sniper Elite Resistance we're talking about, people who aren't watching.
On the Friday show, I did a ranking of the top 25 Xbox 360 games, the only true and accurate one on the internet. And I was like, what else do I want to play? Fuck it, let's play some Sniper Elite. It took a patch on the 18th, and it seemed pretty extensive, like it fixed a few things. So I'm just like, oh yeah, let's play it. And the longer I was playing it on stream/video, the more and more it ran like a dog, which was really bothering me. And I was like, all right, fuck this. I'm 1.5 levels away because there's a proper big level, and then, like every Sniper Elite, the very last mission is, here's a sniper rifle, fucking kill the main dude without any assistance whatsoever. It's literally the only time it takes the assistance away from you. I'm like, shit. It's got a real fucking stupid ending. Like, he sit there basically, he puts this signal down, going, all right, I'm sacrificing myself, I'm not making it out of here. RAF bombers are coming to blow this fucking base up. And then a train about what has to be 20 feet running through a tunnel underneath with some big bad Nazi. And he's like, fuck that! Jumps onto the train. And stays on the roof without falling off or breaking anything. That's weird. And the fake Jason Stathamness of this dude's voice is hilarious. As is just like from 300 meters away, like shooting a rifle bullet through a dude's jaw. It's fucking amazing. The moment-to-moment playing of Sniper Elite Resistance is still really satisfying and really fun. But yeah, the technical issues and the lack of a likability in the protagonist and a couple other issues really do unfortunately restrict it. But I am still keen for the next one. Because of course I am. Lastly, I finally did it. I finally started on the Saturday show playing Doom Eternal to prepare for Doom the Dark Ages, which is out in like 8 weeks. And Doom Eternal's fucking fantastic. It's incredible. It's way more technical in the combat perspective than 2016 was, because like your constantly swapping weapons because different monsters are weaker to different weapons. There's weak spots on some of them that you have to take out so they don't mess you up too hard. You're glory killing all over the place to get health. You've got a flamethrower on your back to get armor, chainsawing for ammo, and it's just a constant move. You're constantly on the move as well, so you're not planting and just getting absolutely wrecked. And it's just up on the line of being too much to handle. But just before that, like really up on that line, so it makes it really fun and engaging. At least in the first couple of levels. We'll see how if that maintains the way through. The other part is the mythologizing of the Doom guy is still fucking amazing. Like, it's just this blank, empty cipher, doesn't say anything. He's just this everyman, fucking meathead. He comes across a problem, and his first, second, and 10th way of solving that problem is to just pick something up and punch it. And yet there's these really long, extensive, like, historical documents talking about the Doom Slayer, otherwise known as Doom Guy, which is pretty great. Navigating the levels and finding the actual hidden stuff is way easier than 2016 as well, because some of that shit got real weird and esoteric, which made it really annoying. But yeah, and the Doom Guy has a space base. And but you go outside to change parts, and somehow he doesn't need any specific oxygen tanks to breathe. But you look down and you see the Earth, and it's moving because obviously you're moving through space. But the space base moves way too fast, and it's like almost felt a little bit sick. Anyway, Doom Eternal's great, and that's it.
Cool.
Video games.
Woo! Well, I've only played 2 because, life is just not quite as stable as it used to be with all this renovation stuff going on still.
How far away is that from being done?
Probably another month, probably.
Shit.
Probably another month. It's been going for, going for 3 months so far. So, yeah, probably another month, I'd say. But I have played a couple of one new game. It's actually a demo of a game that's out. Not yet known yet, but it's out this year. Went through it, called Mars Attacks. This is obviously inspired by the Mars Attacks movie from late 90s. And it's a theme park game where you are running as Martians and the humans are the exhibits.
Oh, what? I didn't pick that up because I saw this on your list and I'm like, what the fuck? And I looked it up. I'm like, of course it's a goddamn theme park simulator on Mars. Why am I not surprised that that's something that Graham fell into?
So you're basically building a theme park where the humans are the exhibits. Like this one's humans can identify thousands of human faces, but often can't even recognise their own feet in a lineup. I just find that.
Yeah, accurate.
Yeah, probably. None of these screenshots are showing it off particularly well, it must be said, which is a bit disappointing. So basically, you're building.
I feel like screenshots would be a really hard way to show a game like this off.
They could do better than what they're doing. So.
Okay.
They could do better than what this. So it kind of doesn't really show it, but that's probably the closest thing. So you're building exhibits.
Yep.
For example, top left here, we're going to exhibit. They seem to be theme based on the period of time which the exhibit, like the people that go into it, your human captors or captees, come from. So it's ancient Rome and this sort of stuff. Like then you're picking out that sort of era of human. You put them in an enclosure like you would at a zoo. You then put windows in the wall so Martians can look inside the enclosure, and then you put things inside the enclosure to make the humans happy, like water and feeding troughs and toilets and showers and stuff like that. And you then research is basically done by having I can't remember what the term was, essentially a scientific outpost that you put inside the enclosure, and they do experiments on the humans. So we end up having this animated. I don't think I saw them in the screenshots at all. Again, so they could do. That gives a bit of an idea of the layout. You can have big enclosures and stuff like that.
Mm.
Yeah, none of this showed off at all. Yeah. So basically you have these like flying around drone things, picking up the human by the legs and by the head and twisting it round and just doing this animation thing to imply that it's doing sort of experiments on it to earn research points. Um, you've also then laying down things to help to encourage the Martians that are visiting to stay longer. You've got rides, you've got theme park stuff you would expect in a theme park.
Yeah.
So it's got a lot of that stuff. It's pretty neat in concept. Um, I'd be curious to see how it sort of. I'm not sure it's going to have a lot you can do with each, because each like even though you're taking humans from different eras, you're
Mm.
abducting them basically is what it does. You actually abduct
Fucking A.
you actually abduct them. How do you get them? There's nothing different that I can see other than what the enclosure looks like. So if ancient Rome enclosure looks different to this other type of enclosure, which might be like feudal Japan kind of a thing, it just looks different.
Mm.
But the stuff you're putting inside them is exactly the same. So I'm not too sure if there's that much variety between these enclosure types that you're creating. But you're still putting in the same kind of things inside of it. You're then putting in, like you can see in this on this screen screenshot we're looking at here. You've then got park facilities like toilets and security and water and power and that kind of stuff to feed
Maintenance and shit.
maintenance sort of things as you expect. Your research is then used to research new rides and stuff like that. So it's got a lot of the standard stuff in it that you would expect to be in a theme park game. They've just twisted it completely and said, right, we're aliens, and humans are the subject of our enclosures and stuff. So I'm curious to see how it'll sort of land when it comes out. I think it's going to be an early access when it comes out. I think it said early access up here, so it's going to be an early access when it comes out sometime this year. The demo seems fairly robust, so I can't imagine the early access is that far away. But yeah, it's an interesting concept to sort of flip that theme park concept on its head and say, right, we're flipping this round. But I think beyond that, that's probably the only thing that's really kind of different about it. Everything else is the same.
Yeah, it's the only unique hook.
You're still putting down the same sort of things you need to put down for human visitors, you're putting down for Martian visitors. So yeah, but its visual style is quite neat as well. So
yeah,
it's going to got a fair bit going for it, but I'm not sure it's going to have a lot of variety than what you would normally see in a regular theme park game. But
like theme park shit like that. Yeah,
like it's still a theme park in reality. They just flip around the way you're looking at it, sort of thing, the perception on it. But yeah, it's worth. I'll be keeping an eye on it when it comes out later this year.
I just want to know who the fucking savage was that was building those parts in one of those screenshots. Because Jesus Christ, the one that showed the next one along, that one. Look at those parts.
Paths.
Go back one. Yeah. See all the paths in this sort of middle north area?
Doing these weird loops and stuff, you mean?
Yeah. Like, between this handcuff looking thing, it's like, it's doing my nutting. How much did you get into the 2-point games?
Very little, actually. Very little. So, yeah. But yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on it. Satisfactory. Jumped back into that for the first time in about 3 weeks today. I'm currently just putting together episode 38. They are starting to sort of start the teaser process for 1.1. Their biggest first update since obviously going to 1.0. So I'm hoping if everything works out that I'll finish my current playthrough as a 1.0 playthrough, then start the new one as 1.1, and we'll just go from there with the second series. But yeah, we'll see how we go.
Have they indicated much about what that 1.1 is going to be?
Couple of bits and pieces. There did a teaser video a week and a bit ago now, I think it was. They've putting in some new buildables. Probably the big one for me is probably elevators. I think there's been a mod that's done that in the past, but now they've sort of built it into the game. It looks like they also can put in. You don't have to really tell. It might be either mergers or splitters down an actual conveyor belt. I've previously only been able to do that on conveyor belts. Now they can do it on lifts. So you can put it down on lifts, whereas before you couldn't do that before. So that would be interesting. Have it come into a merger, then split around, which actually would come in real handy for me with some of the things I do, because I do a lot of that sort of stuff. So yeah, so things like that they're doing, but no time frame for that at all. So I don't know when that will be. They sort of start their teaser stuff fairly way out, like a month or so. So probably think within the next month or two it'll probably be come out. It'll probably come into experimental first, and then they'll put it into their stable branch when it's being tested or whatever. So yeah, I'll look at that when it comes out later this year. Well, hopefully not too far away, but yeah. Yeah, it's still satisfactory. It's not. They're not going to change that game that much because it's done incredibly well for them.
Man, how much would it fuck you up though if they made incredibly ground shaking changes to certain? Well, they've already done that a few times.
Yeah, I mean they've done that a few times and they've done bits and pieces to it. So yeah,
they turn it into a cover shooter.
They know what they've got there with that game. They're not going to change it that much. That thing's sold incredibly well for them. So. That's it for me. So let's just flick back to there. Will I go and change to the upcoming games thing?
Yes. Upcoming games of April. There are there's a few big-ish
ones. There's a couple that are worth that I'm keeping. I'm very interested in. One, first of which is the South of Midnight.
Yep.
This is the sort of claymation style, stop motion kind of movies that, like at least that movies have been like that. Not sure what the gameplay is going to be like. That's out in early April. It's got one of those advanced access models as well, which is why it's in there twice. So that's what I was trying to fix before we started recording. But I just think this game looks really, really intriguing.
It has a really interesting look and movement style, and how the extent. I'm curious of the extent to which that movement style, if it disrupts whatever combat's going on and stuff like that. If it ends up disrupting it or making it harder to read, then that's going to become a problem. But the sort of character and environmental design looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, well, these big fish in
like big catfish and big crocodile.
Big crocodile, just amazing looking. Whether they look like that in game is obviously a different discussion, because these are obviously cover art or not, concept art or not even that per se. Probably from screenshots.
That's what they looked like in the trailers and in the gameplay demo they did, but again, sticking the landing's a lot different. It is on Game Pass.
Yeah.
So
that's from Compulsion.
Barrier to entry quite low.
That's from Compulsion Games, who their output has been quite good.
We Happy Few was the last thing they did.
That wasn't there. What wasn't one before that was the one I was thinking of, which are now.
What was the one before that?
There probably was others, but I'm trying to.
There was something. What the fuck did they put out before that?
I'm trying to just make sure I get the name of this, if I've got the right one first before I say it.
Contrast?
Contrast. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Puzzle platformer. Huh. I never played it.
Yeah, it was a really neat puzzle game because it had it dealt with sort of light and dark and shadow and stuff like that, and you did puzzles, completed puzzles by using it. It was really, really kind of neat little game.
They kind of have a sort of at least character-based aesthetic style to an extent. Nothing wrong with that though.
No, that. Drive Loop. Going back to the Ask games from before, this is the Ask one of those that's when you're on a car, or in a car.
We both played this.
Played the demo of this a couple of weeks back. Can't remember, it wasn't part of Steam Nest Fix. It was part of something else.
It was the demo was, I think, not officially. I don't know. There was a bunch of demos. This was one of them. It was during Next Fest.
It started before Next Fest, though. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
it was, I'm not sure if it was something else or whether they just put it out. I can't remember. Anyway, looks really cool.
I found myself getting to a point in that where after a certain point, it was really hard to get any further. You just got fucking swarmed. And they were just big enemies that fucked you up hard in a way that made the progression to the end of the loop, as it were, perhaps harder than maybe it should be, but maybe that's because it was the demo. I don't know.
Yeah, it's out in early access.
It felt good driving around in that car, though.
Yeah, out in early access, so on the 9th of April.
Right.
We have the Promise Mascot Agency.
Fuck yeah.
Which is some sort of RPG or some sort, I'm guessing.
It is the next game from the Paradise Killer people.
Nice.
I played the demo of this, and it's fucking insane. Kind of visual novel-y with some semi-open world, driving around, taking mascots places, managing mascots. But they're all really shit mascots, like this screenshot where there's a block of crying tofu that can't get through a door. And you have to resolve that by, I don't know, kicking him. It's fucking weird and insane in the best way. And if it's anything like Paradise Killer, the music will be ridiculously good as well. I'm very much looking forward to this.
It's basically out on practically or everything. 10th of April.
It is out on everything.
Next one's also on the 10th of April is Steel Seed.
Stealth-based 3D platformer.
Okay.
Has a really neat look to it. Does it have a demo still? It did. It does still have a demo. All right, sweet.
Okay.
Yeah. That was shown. There was a future game show during the week that I didn't realize. There is a demo. There are 4 other games that I added for the upcoming games, but I had to go into the IGDB to edit the release dates. That hasn't picked up before we started. All 4 of those games have demos. I'm going to check out those 4 demos on the Friday show, as well as this Steel Seed as well. Because stealth can either go really, really fun, or it can be an absolute nightmare, depending on how it what happens, and how it handles you being detected.
Yeah, 100%. Yep.
If it insta-fails you or just makes it insanely difficult to avoid being spotted, then it's no fun. If they're kind of dumb and let you get away and hide and then go back to their normal patrols, then that's more fun. So I will have a look at this on Friday with 4 other games. I can go through those 4 games a little bit later if we so choose. Storm and a Teep Cup Go. What a great fucking name for a developer.
I was just highlighting. Great name.
This is one of those 4.
Okay, will I go? Yep.
Card-based builder-ish mixed with action RPG.
Okay.
Kind
of neat.
Or is that one of the card-based builders? Maybe it's not. Or visual novel mixed with action RPG. I can't quite remember which. There's some cards there.
Cards there.
Yeah. So I don't know. It looks pretty neat, and I thought, fuck it, it's got a demo. Why don't we have a look at it? That's kind of what the Friday show's for, picking out games that look interesting and doing something with them. Stygian Out of Gods. It's a first-person role-playing game.
Yep, out on the 14th in early access, and the other consoles to follow.
Yep. Avowed's a first-person role-playing game that's really, really good. Maybe this one will be too. Hope, and that's the thing. I put these in because I want to play them, and hoping that when they come out, they land. Sometimes they don't.
Change of Freedom. That's out on pretty much all platforms except for the Switch on the 15th in a full release. There's a demo of this on. There was. I'm assuming it's still operating. I
think it's still there.
I think it's still there. XCOM style sort of game. I think we just talked about this a couple of weeks back. It's a bit like
demo is still available.
Still available. Cool. It's a bit like Where's Mechanical?
Mutant Year Zero.
Mutant Year Zero, that one's the name I'm thinking of. Mutant Year Zero must be.
It's gone back some fucking ways now.
It's gone back a fair way now. Yeah, from.
I want to say 6 years. I want to say 2018, 2019.
I was going to say, I would guess 6 off the top of my head. Yeah, so it's a really neat game. Seems really neat. I'm not too sure of all these games are going to be sort of these games sort of, I think, from my perspective, rely on the story that drives you through the missions.
Mm.
A lot of missions are going to be the same. You can hopefully take out a few enemies beforehand, then go into the turn-based combat, that sort of thing. But always,
Yep.
because it's random generation, you can be that far away from somebody and fucking miss. Mind you, they can do it too, so it does even out at some point. But yeah. Tempest Rising, late in April 24th. This is the inspired by Command and Conquer series set of games. We played this on a checkout
I was going to see if you
a
remembered this.
long
We did a
time ago.
checkout for this, if not last year, year
Last year,
before.
maybe the year before. It's been a while since you've looked at it. I think it was might have been a Next Fest from last year, maybe the year. I don't know when it was. It was a while back.
It was definitely a demo.
It was definitely a demo for sure.
Yep.
And look neat back then. I've not seen much more about it since that demo came out. But if anything, if it's half sticks to landing from what it was sort of portraying in that demo, I think it's got a lot of potential. But yeah, looking forward to that one.
Yeah, that one's weird. Why are there two entrances for that one? They're different platforms or different.
I've got to figure out that.
That's super
I've got to spend time spinning it out. But when I get around to it, I'll try and fix it. And the last one is Clear Obscure Expedition 33. I have no idea what this one you put on.
The second of two Game Pass games, or the second of two RPG sort of Game Pass games. It is. I've heard it described as an FRPG instead of a JRPG. It's a French RPG. So menu-driven combat, which I am getting more of a taste for, but I still have no interest in playing Final fucking Fantasy. Fuck that. But the style and graphical sort of fidelity and aesthetic, and it's got a really interesting narrative where there's some artist who paints a number, and everyone who is aged that number dies.
Oh, okay, interesting. Okay.
So you are getting to the bottom of that and seemingly maybe trying to prevent that artist from painting that number. The 33 being, I think that's the latest or perhaps upcoming number to be painted. I don't know. That's the extent of what they've sort of said about the plot in the pre-release stuff that they've done. But it is, my understanding is it's a Game Pass game. So it could be really neat.
Yeah, the premise sounds interesting. That's for sure.
Yeah, narratively it sounds super interesting and like a French take on the JRPG style. Like, I really wanted to play the Persona games, but they're fucking 150 hours. If this one sticks like 20 or 30, then it might be more appealing.
Yeah,
but who can say?
Yep, and that is the last one we have for April.
Like I said, there are a couple more games that didn't have release dates in IGDB that didn't show up there, but I've got demos for those that I'll look at on Friday, along with Steel Seed, and we'll see if they're any good. But that's April's not looking quite as intense as what March has been, and we've still got one more week. And there's a bunch of games like Atomfall, First Berserker Kazan, and AI Limit all come out on the same day. Atomfall reviews have hit, though, and it's been kind of...
Yeah, bit average,
Yeah, kind of not great. Which is a shame, because I was super interested in that.
And Assassin's Creed is also... Is that next?
No, Assassin's Creed Shadows is out.
Is out, is actually out. Yeah, okay.
Yep, that has reviewed mostly...
I was going to say I haven't seen a lot of reviews about that one, if I'm honest. So
fairly positive. The biggest criticism, and obviously this is much more of a personal, like, interpretive thing, is the quality of the narrative. Some people are like, it's a bit cliche. Other people are like, nah, it's really well written. It's really good. The actual playing of it seems to strike a bit closer balance of the bigger sort of RPG-ish open worlds they've done in the last three mainline. Well, does Mirage count? Mirage is a mainline Assassin's Creed, isn't it?
I guess so. I mean, it wasn't as big as scale-wise as Odyssey and Valhalla and Origins beforehand, but yeah, I mean, it's probably going back to in terms of the scale, back to the original set of games, but yeah.
So this is meant to do that, but also revise the combat and make it a little bit more assassin-y, Naoe having the hidden blades and being able to stick fools with them, and then Yosuke being this big bruiser who apparently doesn't show up too much in the first 15, 20 hours of the game, which is really funny. I've got it. I haven't started it yet, but I've got it. Because of course I do. I'm an idiot.
Alrighty, let's jump into the beginning of the end. Alrighty, so we'll be back in a fortnight for the next podcast, but in the meantime, there'll be some Friday night fun stuff from you, I'm guessing, with on your Enemy Starship.
Yes, twitch.tv/Enemy Starship.
Is that called a channel on? What's the name of what's the channel on Twitch? Is that what the term is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah, I was just curious what it was. Anyway, so that's down there. We'll do probably some videos next weekend as well. No idea what they'll be just yet. We might get back to Luma Island. We might look at there's a game I was playing earlier. I was going to think about, but I forgot what it is. We might look at that. We might start Split Faction maybe. We've got options. In other words.
I was going to say, yeah, at some point we should start Split Fiction, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, whatever it's called. Yeah, so we'll get that, and then we're back in a fortnight for the next podcast. Any match lessons?
I've been doing those mostly on the Friday and Saturday shows. The one I will say, one that I do need to I want to get loud and wide. The new Coheed and Cambria album, fucking amazing. And not a deathcore fucking heavy shit album either. The Coheed and Cambria is a fantastic band, one of my favorites. And this album is quite relatively varied in the sort of approaches they're taking to the music and songwriting. A few little disco-y types, a little more upbeat, and then a few sort of almost acoustic-y driven songs. But the rest of it, I'll talk about on Friday Night Fun or the Saturday shows.
I've actually got one, believe it or not.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
You've probably already heard of these guys, but I'll sure name them anyway. They're called Shepherd's Reign. They are actually a Samoan band. They're heavy. They're really heavy. Really good. I sort of they were just given one of their videos came up in one of my YouTube feeds the other day, and I started playing. It's really, really good. So, yeah.
Which album was it?
Ally May, I think is the name of the album.
Ally May.
Yeah.
Or is that the song or the album?
That's the album. Yeah.
Yep.
It might be a song by that name as well. So.
Yeah, there is a song by that name.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, there is an album of that name. Oh dear. They look Samoan as fuck in that profile picture on Spotify.
No, they're really, really good.
They look like the lost sons of Haku.
So yeah, just stumbled across them like literally last week. Yeah, there's really good heavy stuff.
Have you heard Alien Weaponry before?
No.
Heavy band, but they do most of their lyrics in Māori.
Oh, okay.
Pretty neat. But yeah. Anyway, Francis316 says, let's end the show.
We should do that. So let's do it.
I had to get an Austin 316 reference in there because I tried doing one at the start of the show and fucked it up. And that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so.
And on that note, we should wrap it up. Episode 316 of the Should Have Played This Game.
What a fucking lead balloon.
Until next week, thanks very much for watching and goodbye.
Bye. Oh.